Hey guys, Martin Mentor here, back with another video. All right, so this video is going to be about Final Mile, and I'm going to break down how you can net $100,000+ a year doing final mile delivery, last mile delivery, final mile delivery, same thing. So not gross. We're not talking gross. We're talking net. All right. There's a big gap, from middle mile and final mile, or Amazon relay and final mile. I've said it, over and over in different videos. The reason why there's a big gap is because the work level is extremely increased. There's a lot more work, very taxing labor when you're doing final mile delivery. Anybody that's done final mile delivery, they know this, they understand this. I preached it. It's not something you're not going to make you're talking about a $75,000 to $100,000 difference, in gross per year. And that 100,000 gap comes with a lot more work. So I'm not going to explain the difference of the work level. I think I've done that in enough videos. I think everybody understands that now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you numbers on how you can net 100,000+, six figures net. All right. Doing final mile delivery. All right. I'm going to show you the numbers where as if you were on a truck with a helper compared to if you were just an investor and you had your truck out there with a driver and a helper, your first truck, driver and helper, versus your first truck with you being on the truck and you have a helper. All right. You'll see that even the comparison between those two, it's a big price, or difference as far as monetary, how much more you'll make. So let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna break everything down to you guys. I'm gonna make it real simple. I'm gonna actually put the side by side up on the screen, and then what I'll do is I'll explain each expense, right? And then we'll do the net. And for those of you that don't know gross and net, gross is the full gross and then what you earn, and then net is after all expenses are paid is what you take home. All right. So, and this is just going to be a rough median example, and then you can actually take your own personal numbers depending on your market, and then kind of use this model to apply it. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Every market is going to be different. All right. If you're in a bigger market, your earning potential can be more. If you're a smaller market, it may be less. All right. I'm basing it on $1,000 a day because that's the average that a final mile, last mile, independent contractor usually makes. It's about the average of about $1,000 a day with all their stops gross. And then obviously that'll fluctuate depending on if you do more stops or less stops. All right. Net determines, that can be determined by the market that you live in and also what you can get done. Some people can get more stops done than other people. All right. But this is an average based on what I've been able to do in the past 13 years. All right. So, all right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this example. It's going to be based off of renting a truck. So obviously, if you own a truck, your earning potential is going to be higher because you can deduct that rental cost. But then, you have to add in your maintenance and other incidentals. So there's some things that I didn't add in this because it's unforeseen situations like truck maintenance and things like that. You don't have truck maintenance when you're renting. So this is basic. On a good, clear, sunny day when there's no issues, these are the expenses that you're going to pay. Obviously, there's going to be other expenses that are going to happen that would come out of this net overall and bring the value down, but that all depends on each person's situation and what happens throughout the year. All right, so let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. So basically, as you can see, I got on the truck and off the truck. All right, and this is the breakdown. All right. So let me go through it each step. All right. We're going to start with if you are a contractor, you got your 26 footer, you're on the truck, you and your helper. All right. Here are your expenses. We're going to base this off renting a truck. So my example is off renting a truck. truck rental, I'm putting the truck rental at about $700 a week because to me that's still kind of high. But like I want to be I want to be something fair. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna go low like what a normal rate is. A lot of people are paying for, but you can kind of feel the numbers in. So I'm gonna go 700 a week. If you're paying 1,200 a week, 1,300 a week, then you can put that 1,300 in there, and then finish the rest of the equation on your own. 700, I believe, is fair. All right, so 700 a week, that equates out to $100 a day. Mileage, same thing. I'm putting it at 15 cents a mile. I think that's fair. You can insert your own mileage, but and then finish the equation that way. Let's put the miles at 15 cents a mile. A typical final mile route does about 50 to 75 miles a day. We're going to put it at 100. I'm going to over calculate this thing so you can get the picture. So let's put it at 100, make the math easy. That's $15 a day. Helper, you're on the truck. So if you're on the truck, I would pay my helper more. All right. So that's $200 a day to the helper, right? I pay them less. If you see on the other side, I pay them a little bit less. All right, if I got 2 people on the truck. But if you're on the truck, you can pay your helper more. All right, so $200 a day to the helper. Insurance average, I'm saying for a new guy coming in on a fair tip based on what I'm hearing, $1,500 a month, which equates to about $50 a day. Fuel cost, you're not going to spend $100 a day in fuel when you're doing final mile. I just put $100 a day up there just to make the math easy. Then you can calculate lunch or whatever for the difference. I don't care, but I just put the $100 a day to make the math easy so you get the point. So after those general expenses, that should net you about $535 a day. All right, about 53%. And that's on the high end. There's going to be incidentals that I'm going to explain to you later on down the line. So $535 a day, which is going to net you $2,675 a week. That's going to be $10,700 a month. That's going to be $128,400 a year. And that's running on a 5-day contract. If you run on a 6-day contract, you're looking at $154.80. All right. And then there's 7-day contracts, and then you can add that 7th day. All right. So now here is one of the main things that can bring that net down, that $128.4. If you're running a truck, obviously you don't have any maintenance. What can bring that down is claims. All right. Claims. It's the number one killer in the final mile, last mile delivery business. All right. Claims. You break something, you bought it. That's the way it works. It rolls downhill. If you're running for Lowe's or Home Depot and you damage a refrigerator, if that refrigerator is $3,000, then Best Buy is going to charge the logistics company. The logistics company is going to charge it to you, and they're going to take it out your settlement. Most of the time, they don't take the whole $3,000 out. What they'll do is they'll take a certain amount out over a period of time, but that period doesn't stretch long. They want to get their money back as soon as possible. They also want to pacify you to keep you coming into work. All right. So that is the biggest killer that can lower that. All right. Obviously, if you're own a truck, you can make a lot more because you're deducting that $700 a week. But then you have to account for your maintenance throughout the year. All right. Let's go on off the truck. You got a truck running, 26-footer. You're not on it. You got 2 guys on it, so that rental is going to be the same. Mileage is going to be the same. Me personally, I pay my driver $250 a day final mile. And I'll tell you why I can pay more for the helper and the driver. I'll tell you more in a minute. So driver $250 a day, helper $175 a day. Insurance, same, about $50 a day if you're spending about $1,500 a month on insurance. Fuel, truck costs about another $100 a day. Now you're net because you're not on a truck. You're paying 2 people, $310 a day, $1,550 for the week, $6,200 for the month. It's about $89,280. I'm sorry, about $74,400 for the year on a 5-day contract. 6-day contract, you're making more, $89,280. And if you got a 7-day contract, obviously it would be more than that. Same thing on this side. Claims will bring those numbers down. Right here, you're operating on about a 31% margin, which is still good. And, you can actually drop that. And the reason I start my driver off at 250 and my helper at 175 because I'm leaving a little room there for scale. Eventually, when these guys get better, you're going to have to increase their pay. All right, especially if you want to keep them. 250 a day for a driver, and even my market, I'm in a big market. That's a lot. I understand the importance of paying really well so that I can keep those guys. I feel confident that they're going to come to work today and they're not going to quit. I start them at 250, which is really good, but I leave that room for bone increases. All right. Eventually, they're going to want to get paid more. All right. I don't mind operating on a 20% or 15% margin. I'm still making money over a period of time. All right. So right now, this is at a 31% margin. My guy, he wants money. He's coming. I know he's working. Obviously, I'm going to tell him, give me a week to think about it. The whole time in my head, I know I'm going to give it to him because I know eventually it's coming. It may be 3 months, it may be 6 months, it may be a year down the line. I know it's coming. I'll give him $50 a day. Boom. Now he's at 300, right? Boom. He's talking to the helper on the truck. He's going to want the same thing. I give him 25. All right. So now I'm making $75 less. But who cares, right? Because I still have a big margin. I'm at 31% starting off. I'm willing to go all the way down to 10. I know it's probably not going to get down that far, but this is if all the stars align and there's no claims. Claims is a whole different thing. You see what I'm saying? But that's why you want to pay your guys good, and you want to keep it in their mind that, look, if you break it, you bought it, because the company is not paying for it. You're the company. You have to let them know. So each job they go into it within their mind that, look, we have to be extremely careful because we don't want this coming out of our check. And that's going to make them work a little bit more responsibly because they understand that. They're going to take the time to lay masonite or what we call masonite is like it's like a floor covering, like a cardboard type floor covering thing. We don't really use it because it takes too much space on the truck, but you can get this plastic roll that sticks to carpet and you can lay that down, or you can get what you call runners. All right. They're going to make sure they put those runners down. They're going to make sure they wrap certain things and take doors off and things of that nature so they don't scratch things. They're going to make sure, because we train them, for what equipment to use and what situations, all right, because we have to decrease these claims. All right, these claims is what brings the company, my earning potential down, and it brings them down as well, because some claims, I understand, I may just take the hit. Some claims I may split it down the middle, and then if it's just a claim where I'm just like, man, this is 100% avoidable, like, why didn't you do this, or why didn't you lay a runner down, or like, things like that, and then I'm not going to pay those claims. If it's just a claim where once it goes to investigation, I see that, this is a tough job. There's no way they would have got this done, without damage due to this person ordering this huge refrigerator and this small face. You have people that buy mansion furniture for a 1-bedroom studio apartment. It behooves me, but it is what it is. In a situation like that, I knew, or once we research it and do the investigation, there's no way they could have gotten this done without causing some type of damage, because that is true. It happens. Then we'll just take the hit on that. We'll send a handyman out. We'll do a patch and paint, whatever we need to do, and that'll come out of the company. And then that kind of deducts from the company margin. All right. And so these two examples are based off renting a truck. Like I said, if you have your own truck, obviously you're saving that truck rental fee per week and that mileage fee, and obviously everybody's insurance is different. But if you own your own truck, you're going to make more money, right? But you have to account for the maintenance. Obviously, the maintenance isn't going to be higher than what you would be paying for a truck for the year. So you still would, be making a lot more money if you owned your own truck. And then, you can scale this. So even at $75,000 a year for if you're not on the truck, it's some people that work a full year to make that. They go to work every day. And here is $75,000 that you're making by having a truck and a team out there doing work for you. Yes, you're doing work. Yes, it's something that's on your mental every day, but you're not physically out there. Now, add a second truck. Now that 75 is turned into 150. All right. Add another truck. All right, that 150 is turned into 225. All right, so on and so forth. All right, and this is how you make money in final mile, last mile delivery. Like I said before, it is a lucrative industry. It's a lucrative business, but this is different from middle mile. It's different from Amazon Relay. It's high liability. All right, the risk of damage is greater than middle mile, final mile. You're dealing with appliances and furniture, right? It's on your truck, right? You got to maneuver it without damaging it, and you're also going into a person's home or business, and the risk of damaging the floor or nicking the wall or damaging the wall is greater too. All right, so you have to keep that in mind. I'm not going to stress this out even further. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions, you guys know how to find me, but this is how you make 100,000+ a year net. All right, doing final mile, last mile delivery. www.boxtruckcourses.com for your one-on-one mentorship with me. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button so you can stay up to date with all the upcoming videos, and I'm out.
Como, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talk about, oh shit.